Alright, welcome to Age of Gladiators. So, this is a sort of guilty pleasure game. It's a very chill, relaxing game that I've thrown on while, getting ready for bed and just, vegetating for 15-20 minutes to just, turn my brain off after working. I've apparently logged, according to Steam, 100 hours over the course of however many years since it came out. But, I was going through my library, trying to figure out what to do for this weekend as just kind of like a filler weekend while I think about what I want to do now that I've finished the Brigandine playthrough. And, apparently Age of Gladiators Reforged is coming out this month. Yeah, sometime in October. They did not specify when in October. And, I would love for them to send me a key, but then again, I don't want them to send me a key because then technically it's a sponsored video, and I don't want to have a sponsored video. I'd rather just buy it and then talk whatever smack I want to about it, and they can't do anything because I didn't sign any contracts, and No, but seriously, I've always wanted to do an A-modest analysis just to explore the possibility space of this game, but there's so very little to it and so very many ways it could be changed. So what I'm actually going to do once the new one comes out, I'm probably going to drop a couple videos because, like I said, this is like a guilty pleasure game for me, so I absolutely will be buying the Reforged. And I'm going to probably drop a video or two whenever it comes out, just, looking at it, getting my first impressions and my first thoughts and the way they've changed things. And then I'm probably at some point going to make an A-modest analysis of the original to the Reforged, the changes they've made, and if I would have done similar or different changes, if I would have done additional or less changes, and other potential changes I would have made were I to be remastering this into a new experience. And I'm saying that all right now for this video, so I don't have to say it during the A-modest analysis, which will eventually happen. But for now, let's just have some fun with it. The game audio I adjusted based on this initial screen, and the sound is very much one thing they absolutely need to have in the Reforged, which they should, is audio controls, or just any kind of options menu at all. But yeah, let's pop right into it. So we are going to, we're going to be Nickel, the Pingborg. Honestly, the choice of origin is impactful, but not incredibly so. So the X-Scout, the perfect fighter evaluation, if you have really good scouts, completely negates that, really. You'll still have a little bit of variation where they'll get something wrong a little bit, but, for the most part, it's not going to be that far off unless they're just, the thing that this lets you do is pick a really, really terrible scout as far as effectiveness goes. Well, I'll show you once we get into it. But this just lets you get a larger volume of fighters you can choose from rather than better assessments. This is literally the same as, I think, 2 upgrades of your place, and it does increase the maximum that you can reach, but at some point your gladiators reach max level and it no longer does anything. So Doctor is really good just to keep fighters, to keep a smaller stable healthy and fighting. But if you just have better finances, you can just have more gladiators, and then Because, like, it doesn't matter if you always have, 6 gladiators available. You can only fight one at a time. So, this only matters for the number of gladiators you're able to drop in. 350,000 is significant at the start, but then it does nothing after that. Whereas everything else continues doing something the rest of the game. Showman is just... You get more fights, you get more money, you get more fame, and you win or lose more reputation. So it just progresses things faster, really. Negotiator is just basically the better option for long term if you're wanting to look at the financial side. Just, less money to buy fighters, less fighter upkeep. So, honestly, all of them are fairly balanced. None of them are particularly great. I think I will go with the X-Scout. Just so that I can... Well... Now let's go Doctor. Let's actually go Doctor and just have a really small stable. That'll be fun. Female gladiators, because sure, why not? I see no reason not to. And then, economy strong. Long campaign just literally makes you fight more fights. That's it. It doesn't rebalance anything else, so it actually, really, really, the way you advance is you knock out enough of your opponent's gladiators. But if they have a ton of fighters and recruit more fighters, it takes a lot longer to knock them out, which means you're, hemorrhaging money because your fighters are getting better and better and better and costing more and more and more every day. And you're still having to fight with the initial cities. It's terrible. But yeah, we're gonna do all this stuff. Why not? Except let the gods decide. This is... I would normally do this because it makes it more interesting. Once you've played it a couple times and you basically just have it all, whatever. But yeah, we'll just jump straight into it. Okay. I'm not gonna go through any of these little tutorial messages, but whatever. What we're going to do is we're immediately going to go to staff. We're going to go straight to staff, and we need some scouts. That's where I went Doctor. Okay, so the evaluation is how good the scout is at identifying fighters', strengths and weaknesses. And network is how many fighters they show us per week. Or per... I think it's about week or 2 weeks or something like that where new fighters come in. But, so if you take the X-Scout background, you just can ignore evaluation and just go for whoever has the biggest network, which also can save you some money. But we didn't, so... honestly, this guy is looking pretty good. He's got a 300-something evaluation and a fairly sizable network. And then other than that, I just want volume of options. So I'm just going to take those. I always buy 4 scouts immediately because they each give you a list of gladiators to choose from. And these, we'll get back to the rest of the staff later, but these ratings. So the scout, the evaluation of 326 out of 1,000. So he's got about a 32.6% chance of getting it right-ish. I don't know if it's weighted or anything. I've never actually, this is totally just a vegetate game. I've never really, tried to metagame it or, actually calculate anything, see how anything works. Nothing like that. I've just kind of turned my brain off and Gladiator go burn. So, this guy is saying that this particular gladiator, who's asking for $77.50, or is being sold for $77.50, it's morally ambiguous, not sure if they're, being hired or being bought. I mean, all sorts of things happen in Rome. But, one thing that is weird about this game, the evaluation applies to everything except health. This is the actual health amount of this gladiator. Period. So what I'm going to do is anyone who has over 500 health, I'm just going to hire him. And I'm going to go look at the next. Ooh, that one's got 600 health. I'm going to hire him. That one's got 500 health. I'm going to hire him. And then next, this one's got 600 health. Ooh, there's actually 2 that have over 500. And here's 540. Nice. Okay. So now if I want more gladiators, I'm going to need to increase the size of my stable. Which I might. But first, we can actually look at them now. Now that the initial assessment was done, I didn't pay attention to any of these particular people, so if you want to rewind a second, look at the ratings that the different scouts gave them. Now we can look at the actual stats. So, Scaevola here actually looks pretty solid. Okay, so, over here, we're going to look at this, because this is fluff, except age actually matters. So, as the fighters get older, they get hurt more, they get sick more, and they get tired faster. And some stats go up, some stats go down as they get older. So buying an old gladiator means that their, strength and stamina and whatnot is going to drop as they get, as the game goes on. But not very quickly. Just, a little bit here and there. But, yeah. So this is largely fluff, but they do at some point want to retire. Sometimes it's when they get injured, they're like, I'm done. Other times it's they're getting old enough, they're like, I'm past the age, I kind of want to quit it. And there's a perk you can unlock that makes them not. That's usually the first perk I grab, because it's pretty awful when you have a gladiator that's doing really well, and then all of a sudden he's like, no, I'm out. Here we go. Record kills fame. So, the record is just how many times he's killed something, or how many times he's won a match, and how many times he's lost but not died. Because if they just flat out die, then the 0 never becomes anything else. Kills is how many times they've actually killed a gladiator, as compared to just winning. And fame is as they win battles, they become more and more famous. And all of this mostly comes into play with, I think, just buying and selling gladiators from other stables, and maybe with a little bit of, money that's betting available, pots available, whatever. But it's not that big of a deal. I've dropped fighters that were 0-0 that I had just been passively training for a while into a fight, and it seemed to have fairly similar payout available compared to a fighter that had been fighting and winning a lot. So I don't know. Maybe it has to do with more so the betting, because you can bet either for or against your gladiators. Anyway, charisma, poor. So, yeah. Poor charisma makes them, as far as I understand. Again, I've never really dug too deep into this game. It's just kind of a thing I do. It's fun. I just, over my time playing it, I'm fairly sure low charisma means if you lose and don't just outright get killed in the battle, your fighter will be executed by the crowd or whatever. Because, at the end, if you didn't outright, stab the dude in the heart or whatever, then, there's a roll of some kind that's made to see whether the winning fighter executes the other or not. So, I think charisma plays into that. I think charisma also plays into how much fame is gained. Greed is how much they want to get paid and how much their morale will drop if you don't pay them the amount they want, or close to it. And then the current morale is content. This does go up and down. If you lose a fighter, everyone's morale drops. If you win a fight, everyone's morale goes up. If a fighter, does whatever, gets injured, that can lower morale, blah, blah, blah. The salary is how much he gets paid every day. The savings is how much he has set aside. And at whatever point you want, you can actually execute a gladiator to take their savings from them. Sick is whether or not they're sick and how many days. Fatigue, same thing. And injury, same thing. You can drop a gladiator into a fight who is sick and fatigued and injured. It won't go well. All their stats will be penalized. Their morale will be awful. Everyone in your stable will lose morale after. It's also likely to be a loss, so you're usually better off just not. XP, self-explanatory. Skill points, self-explanatory. Strength, damage. Stamina, how often you can swing and dodge and things. Agility, what your chance of dodging is. Reflexes, what your chance of blocking is. Blocking and dodging, as far as I can tell, is the same-ish. I think getting blocked costs stamina, but dodging costs less. Again, haven't really looked super deep into how it works, but I'll definitely be poking at it more once I do that, or once in preparation for and in the process of creating the A-modest analysis for it. Dexterity is the single most important stat because dexterity determines chance of hitting. If your chance to hit is too low, it doesn't matter how good you are at blocking and dodging and how much stamina you have and how much damage you do and all of that. If you can't hit, you lose. Intelligence. Intelligence means how fast they're going to grow in level and stats. The cool thing is that you don't care about intelligence. If they're doing well, if they're winning fights, if they're leveling up, cool, it's fine. If their intelligence is too low and they've won a whole bunch of fights and they're not progressing very quickly at all and you're able to buy some new gladiators that have much better stats and higher intelligence, you can just sell them to one of the other stables or, drop them into a fight that they might not make it through and not feel too sad if they die. Attack is just how much damage. Mitigation is how much percentage damage reduction they get from their armor, which if you do not have proficiency with the armor, it reduces all your or a bunch of your stats to wear it, and you have to have high enough stats to be reduced properly, otherwise you just can't wear the armor. But just getting the mastery, the armor training, it's so valuable. One perk point or whatever these are called, but one expertise point or whatever is armor specialization. I'll show you armor once I get somebody who wears armor, but for now, weapon specialization is not necessarily the only weapon they can use, but it's the only weapon they can use to the full effect, which gives them bonus damage. You can throw any weapon on any gladiator, but if you give them the weapon they're best with, they're going to do a lot more damage. And that's basically it. History, you can see who he's fought. Stats, yep. And that's the entirety of the gladiator. And obviously we have Domida, 38 intelligence, 12 dexterity. She is never going into a battle until she gets a lot of levels. Now, at base, you get 5 skill points per level. And if you pump into Fast Learner, you can get more skill points faster and also increase the maximum skill points you can get at the expense of, losing expertise points. But, she currently is going to have a 6% hit chance because it's just dexterity divided by 2. Every dexterity is half a hit chance. So that will get her killed. Other than that, though, she actually has pretty good stats. 38 intelligence, I'm actually happy to see. That's fairly high for a starting gladiator. So she will level up quite quickly just training in our stable. So far, 2 good pickups. He's absolutely good to just drop into battles starting off. I mean, 30% dodge chance, 25% block chance, and 25% hit chance. That's pretty good for a level 1 gladiator. Then we have Nerva here. Also quite wow. So much for our, staff not being too good at their job. Like this, I'm quite happy with what I'm seeing. And his stats, on the other hand, 46 intelligence. So he will gain levels quickly just passively training. But yeah, his starting stats leave something to be desired. So one thing I would do, if I was actually caring about playing through the whole campaign or whatever, is I would actually start up a spreadsheet and just really quickly just make a spreadsheet for the playthrough and just type in strength, stamina, agility, blah, 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 blah. Leave out intelligence, because intelligence doesn't actually give any combat ability. All it does is increase the amount of speed of leveling up. So I would rate each gladiator based on their starting stats, and then look at their intelligence to see if they were worth keeping or not. Even though his stats aren't great, and by aren't great I mean they're actually pretty bad, I think I would actually still keep him, just because 46 intelligence is pretty high. And then we have Brockus, which is middling. He's alright. He's pretty good. He's pretty good. He's pretty good. I mean, you can just see the differences here. Scaevola, 531 health, 25%, 30%, 25%. 540 health, 22%, 23%, 14%. So, it's clear Scaevola here is much, much better. He does 5 less damage per hit, but a good weapon will fix that. He also has double the stamina, so he'll be able to get in twice as many swings before he gets exhausted. We'll get to a fight soon. Excuse me. Let me take a sip real quick. Wow. I've spent 23 minutes just going through that so far. Alright. We're going to try to get on with it then. Next step, jump to the market. Actually, wait. We have Facina, whatever. Lancia. Oh, no, that's right. She's not fighting anytime soon. So, Facina and Pugio and Facina. Okay. So, we want Pugio. That's really expensive, but also very powerful. That's going to win fights. Facina. And, yeah. That should do. Again, armor. So we don't have the ability to wear it without penalties yet, but you can see one point will get us the ability to wear hide armor, which will reduce our damage taken by 7%. Or up to 9. Or actually up to, I think, 10 or 11 or something. Right. So, back to recruiting. We do see the other two that are over 500 that I'm kind of curious about. Jeez. I am so sorry. My throat is just not with me today. Yeah, I see specifically the one that has the A+ allegedly dexterity. His evaluation is 125, so he's got a 12% chance of getting right or something like that. So this could actually be A+ as in really good, or it could be A+ as in terrible. No way to really know. So, you know what? Just for the sake of why not? Okay, so we spent money initially, I think it was 4,000, and we're spending an extra 200 a day to be able to have 5 additional gladiators. And I'll show you why I'm doing this in just a second. So, I'm now going to go and take that one. I think I'm going to leave the other. Yeah, he has A intelligence, but we've already got 2 projects. We don't care about a gladiator that just has high intelligence at this point. What I'm looking at is something like this. Just a total glass cannon, but his evaluation is 125. But it's A+, A+, B+, A on all the important stuff, and a C in intelligence. I'd be throwing him into fights hoping to get some scrappy wins. Not so much trying to keep him around, so his intelligence would be completely irrelevant. But the 343 hit points is concerning. Definitely never going to go... 246 hit points is way too low. Anything under 350 is very, very sketch. Yeah, Yeah, again, dexterity is so important. But this is a plus, C, D, A minus with 492 hit points. So we'll grab him. And yes, I know I'm going broke immediately, intentionally. I'll show you why in just a second. And then, I mean, D, B, B, D, A, D in dexterity, Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure I'm good there. Alright. So now this is why I did that. I'm gonna go in here, and I'm gonna fire everyone, except for the one guy that's got 326 evaluation. Because I've got my starting stable. I'm never going to need to buy more than like 1, maybe 2, if things go really bad. And 15 days, yes. So twice a month, the fighters restock. So this means, as long as I don't lose, more than 2 or 3 fighters every 15 days, that one scout will be able to handle it. I'm not going to actually get any other staff yet because they don't. I'm pretty sure the blacksmith bonus is like not when you buy the weapon. I'm pretty sure it's when you have the blacksmith, because if you fire blacksmiths, I think the damage amount that your weapon adds goes down. Oh, and by the way, yes, the Fascina there, that's 58 damage, as in the equivalent of adding 58 strength, as long as they have the Fascina specialty. I think it's like half if they don't, but there's not really an interface that I know of that actually like says that here. Like, if I equip it... Oh, no, never mind. Okay, so 24, equip the Fascina, becomes 82. Pugio becomes 75. So obviously, equipping the weapon he has the specialty for, that's the full 58. The Pugio is only half? Yeah, it's only half. So, definitely much more worth it to drop a good weapon, or, a specialized weapon into the person who's using it. Unless you're just really desperate. Like, if you just have to grab... Yeah, you just have to grab something else that's, like, high damage and just throw it on, because the only, like... Yeah, Pugio. There's a 6. For 572. Or you could pay 1,400 and basically have a Pugio 44. Yeah, whatever. In any case, let's look at the new 2. This one, 507. It is a 50 a 50 dexterity. Low intelligence, we knew that. I'm happy with it. This specifically is somebody I'm just gonna throw in, like, as needed. If it's a little dicey looking. And then the last is that's, yeah, that is not a high dexterity at all. I mean, his agility, strength, and stamina are pretty good, but he definitely needs more dexterity before I throw him in. But then again, early game, like super early game, yeah, he'll be able to get some work, probably. At the very least, I won't care if he dies, so at least there's that. And also, I think you do keep weapons if the person using them dies. Ooh, actually, because I was actually sitting here going, yeah, I could totally use her, but there is no good Lancia. 27 for 1,000. How about we just not and say we did? Alright, cool. Alright, so who are we willing to use? Were you willing to use Scaevola here? She needs to train. Nerva's fine. So let's give Nerva, actually, heck, Nerva's in good shape to actually end up being one of our, like, champions. The 45 intelligence, again, if we're dropping him into fights, he's going to level up so fast. Here, 16 dexterity, not gonna fight with him. Fashina, okay. So, we definitely need something else to drop in there. And we'll give him the Hasta. And then she can have the Sika. Oh, no, that's right. We got the Hasta for him. Yep. There we go. Oh, no, he's got 25. Yeah, no. Yeah. All right. So 22% hit chance, 25% bench, 25% bench, 25% bench, 22%, 25%. So everyone who has a weapon we're willing to fight with, everyone else is just going to train. Speaking of training, we're down to 7,500, but I would like to increase my stable once they arrive, but we'll deal with that in just a second. Also, the market, I'm going to look at the armor, specifically because it's randomized, so this studded armor is going to be the best studded armor that will ever be here. 29% is the best studded armor can be in the shop. Plate mail, 49% is the best. I'm not going to dump 1490 because that's going to take 5 levels if I put all the points into leveling up armor. And the armor gets damaged as you fight with it, so do the weapons, but it's generally not a great investment unless you see it like super cheap. Like if that was 49% for like 800, I'd probably buy it, even though I wouldn't be able to use it for a long while. Just saying. All right. Yes, that is all that needs to do. We can't do anything because we have no fighters yet. They are still on the way. 3 days. Yep. 2 days. Yep. Okay. They arrive in 1 day, which means actually this is the point where we want to have some trainers so that they can start training immediately. So let's go ahead and coaching is for battle experience. So if you're trying to run a small roster, like, actually that's kind of what we're doing, right? We went doctor, I think. So we actually don't care at all about the sickness because our gladiators cannot get sick. All we care about is the injury. But I'm not worried about that yet because if they get injured and if they get fatigued, we have several that we could throw out there. We can start picking them up after we've got a couple that got injured that are going to be down for a little while. Here, though, training, absolutely hiring him. 263, but that's a lot of training experience, and training experience is the most important initially, just to get everyone to kind of a base level point. And then we're also going to grab him for his also high training, but also for the high coaching. Okay. Buying blacksmiths makes your weapon and armor more effective. We don't care about that yet. Not yet. Right now, we need to worry more about just getting hits in, because we're going to be fighting against a bunch of people that can't. Also, we have mail. Yeah, be cautious, blah, 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 blah. It's fine. I know how to go into debt. So yeah, there's lenders. If you need to, you can take out a loan. But I'm hoping that with what we've done and with the staff that we've hired, so the salary for the staff is it's 7, 8, 1,000-ish a month. All right, a day, right? That is a day, right? Yeah, daily cost. So it's 1,000-ish a day. But if we had upgraded our stable, it would be 200 a day for it to go up from. Does it tell? Yeah, plus 25% training experience per turn. Just training. So the actual fights would not result in any more experience. The people just sitting here waiting to fight would be the ones gaining extra experience. Or we can just hire people that trains everyone faster. And if we get into a real financial bind, we can fire them. And yeah, just destroying, like, this is bad. If you over upgrade your stable or upgrade your stable too much, you have problems. or if you do it too fast. In any case, so now we intern, everyone gets some experience. Boom. Cool. Alright, mail. I know. Yeah, I know. Okay, cool. So, let's get into the first actual fight. And by actual fight, I specifically mean we're gonna fight a wolf. And Hosta, yeah, the exclamation mark, the giant yellow exclamation mark is to say that the Hosta is not his specialty, so he's getting half effect from it. But I think I'm actually gonna put... Let me go back and look, actually. Who has the highest intelligence? 20, 30... Oh, no. 45. Nerva. Yeah, I think Nerva has the highest. Yeah, Nerva has the highest. Okay. So we're going to drop Nerva in against a wolf, because he's going to learn the most the fastest. And wolves are pretty safe. So, here we go. You can choose aggressive, normal, or defensive. Aggressive. Bonus damage for both people. Normal is normal, and defensive is reduced damage for both people. So, he's doing 53 damage, I'm doing 143 damage. His dexterity is 44, so he has a 22% hit chance. I have a 25% hit chance. So, if I go aggressive, my 143 will become... What is that? 180-ish? 180, 190, something like that. Which will kill him in 2 hits. His attack will go up to 70, which is nothing. Whereas normal, I would do 143 per hit, which would mean 286, which would not kill him in 2 hits. So by going aggressive, we can kill him in 2 hits. So let's do that. And there's 2 hits. That's a kill. And we immediately get 169 experience. Which, yeah, that's... With the bonus experience that he already got from training the one night, and the bonus from the trainer, he's up to 313 out of 2,000 to gain 1 level. Wolves are not great for training, but it got us a little bit of money, and it gets us through to today. It's a massive fight. So, the hype usually will give you a hint as far as what gladiator your opponent will be sending. And you get to choose, whenever you click enter, you get to choose which boss you want to go against. And they're kind of set up like worst, middle, best. Average fighter level 2, average fighter level 4, average fighter level 6. So, since this is a massive fight, he's likely to send his best of his best. Which means it's probably going to be one of these level 4s. But even this level 4 that has 700 hit points is, I think, worse than our folks. If only because 33 dexterity means it's going to have a, was that 16.5% hit chance? And a strength of 18. So even the better of the two isn't that dangerous. So I think we're gonna do exactly that. We're gonna go big or go home. We're gonna drop in massive against him, and we're going to put our... I'm not willing to risk... Then again... So, Nerva has a much higher intelligence. So even though Scavola's better for now, it will not take long as he doesn't die for Nerva to surpass him. So I am actually going to drop Scavola here into this fight. So this is one of the things that definitely I hope they improve a lot in the remake. So this tells us basically everything we need to know immediately. Well, first of all, this is how the greed thing works. So his greed is high. if I pay him 20% of the purse, so I give him 7,000 denarii. I think it's denarii, right? That's the Roman currency. I don't know. That's the currency my brain spat out. Yeah, if I give him 20% of the purse, his morale will decrease by 20. Now, as long as he wins, his morale will increase based on winning the fight, as will everyone else in the stable. But if I don't pay him what he wants to not get, upset with me, to not lose any morale, he wants a 40-60 split. Instead, I'm going to give him a 0 split. So, what's going to happen is, if he wins, he's not going to gain very much morale at all. And if he loses, he's probably going to die. So, it's a win-win for me. But I am going to go ahead... Oh, I'm in debt, so I can't. I should have actually taken out a loan before I went into this fight, so I could have bet on him as much as possible, just to try to make some extra money. But yeah, we're just gonna completely take everything and just hope that he does okay. I was not expecting the guy to have a very good weapon, but it's fine. He does not have armor, and he only has 354 hit points. So, they do have comparable dexterity. At 82 attack, that would be 82, 164... 164 doubled would be 330 something, right? So I'd have to go aggressive to 4-shot him. But if I go aggressive, that becomes 140, 280, and then... Ooh, actually, am I safe still? Would it still take 5? Would I be able to kill him in 4 hits and still be able to take 5? So that would be 25% of 115 would be like an extra 30, so 145, so 290. So no, he would also kill me in 4 hits. So I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go defensive. So the damage being reduced by 25% means I go from doing 80 to doing 60. So 60, 120, 180, and then that would be 6 hits to kill him. But his 115 also will go down by 25% and be like 80 something. So 80, 160, 80, 160, 240, 480. Yeah, I think I'm way better off going defensive here. So, here goes nothing. And now we wait. I mean, we can skip, but this is literally the majority of this is why it's a chill game. To sit here, sip a beer, work on something on another screen, do a little doodling on your, sketchbook or whatever, and just watch as they smack each other, and I can actually slow it down a little bit. And yeah, right now, Ahiad over there is so close to going down, and Scavola's actually taken almost no damage. And you can see the stamina counts down every time that they swing. It takes stamina, and then when they hit 0 or below, they have to rest before they can attack again. So they sit there, they charge at each other, they dump all their stamina, and then they just kind of recover and swing and recover and swing. I think the amount you recover is based on your total, your max stamina or something. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't really looked at the systems of it. And yeah, so minor injuries, killed him, win. We get 35,000, so bada bing, bada boom. We are now fine. We got mail? Yeah, okay. Alright. So, Scaevola, you will notice his morale is content, 100. It did not change. So, the 40 that he lost from me paying him nothing, to not giving him a split of the money, was, yeah, completely offset the amount that he would have got for, winning. Whereas everyone else gained. So Demetia here got 15. Nerva is at 125 because he also fought the wolf and won. Everyone else is at 115. But since since Scaevola is greedy, he's not very happy that he didn't get any money. But it's fine. And that is essentially the entire game. That's it. That is the whole game in a nutshell. So there is a map. So you start in Utica, go to Leptis Magna, go to Brundisium, and then go to Rome. So at each place, you go in. There are 3 bosses. Each boss has a roster of gladiators and hires more as you fight them. And then once he goes bankrupt, which you can see on this screen, you can see his current finances, how much his expenses are, and how many fighters he has. And as you kill his fighters, he has to replace them over and over again until they're bankrupt. And then after 2 of them go out of business, then you get the chance to move on or something like that. Regardless, so it's very much just like grinding through a whole bunch of fights. And that's the game. That is the entire game. I'm gonna do another episode tomorrow that's basically gonna go over like the leveling and, play a little bit more. I'm probably just gonna play a little bit between today and tomorrow's episodes just to like get some experience on these people because he's at 500 and Nerva over here is at 420, so it's gonna take him a minute to even level up the first time, much less level up a couple times. So this is Age of Gladiators, the original. I'm very excited, actually, to see what the remake is like, and hopefully it's still very much a chill, sit back, sip your beer, work on something else with this running on the second monitor kind of thing, and I will probably put another 100 or more hours into that one, just because sometimes it's nice to have a little distraction on the second monitor while you're doing stuff. Especially where it's one you can just like click fight and then glance over every once in a while and be like, oh no, he's almost, he's winning, oh no. And just like, focus on it towards the end of a, exciting fight or whatever. But yeah, that's Age of Gladiators. I don't know what else to say. I just spent like 48 minutes explaining this simple of a game. Like, I don't think I've missed anything either. That's the funny part. Like, I mentioned you can take out loans if you need to. I mentioned the armor and the weapons and the gladiators and the hiring and the. Yep, nope. That's the entire game. Yep, that's it. All the nuance. Oh, that's the one thing I didn't mention. The perks. So you can turn this off, and from what I've seen, if you turn it off, you just kind of get them without having to put points into them. This way you actually have to prioritize what order you get things in. And you have to win 10 times to get each perk. So, like I said, the first one is always this one. I always pick prevent gladiators from wanting to retire. Because no. No. I'm not going to have my 20-0 gladiator go, you know what, I'd rather not fight anymore. Other than that, it's just better weapons, durable equipment. These are specifically the weapons that are available in the marketplace and the armor that's available. Or no, this is the armor reduction. So the damage it takes per battle. So until you get this built up, you tear through armor really fast. Better weapons just increases the damage it starts with, which does go down the more it gets used. Purse amount betting pool, just more money you can get in. Reputation boost, yeah. This is all very much self-explanatory. Remove morale loss for purse sharing, because, if you don't want to pay your greedy people and have them lose morale, whatever, you just put a tick in there. But that's 10 wins towards that. Or you can go for something like Gladiator Starting Health or Gladiator Starting Level. I personally hate Gladiator Starting Level because I like to, actually pick what all my Gladiator stuff is. But, it's whatever. So yeah. And then the opportunities, it's a minor thing that generally when it comes up, you're better off just passing on. Unless you're really desperate. You can see here the success chance is... Yeah. 30% success chance. That's what that starts at. And it can go up to 80% if you put a whole bunch of, I think it's actually... If I remember correctly, this is 10 perk points to get it up to 80%. So it's 100 wins worth of perk points for when they come up to have an 80% base instead of 30% base. You can put gladiators to work it, or you have to put gladiators to work the opportunity. And it, based on their stats, based on what type of opportunity it is, it can increase or actually lower the chance of it succeeding. Also gives them a risk of getting injured, fatigued, sick, or killed. And the trigger chance has to go off for you to even have a chance. So you really have to max that too to really make the investment there worth it. And at that point, you could have literally just buffed up everything else and just got a more honest living instead of relying on the luck that might completely screw you. If you send some of your best gladiators to do a job and 2 of them die and the other 2 get injured, and that's your entire month of profit gone. So yeah, in 2 days, I could drop Scavel in another fight. He would only be fatigued. Fatigue does not reduce the stats very much at all. Injuries do, and the different severities of injury, the broken finger here, is not as severe as some of the more major injuries. So yeah, there's actually a decent bit of complexity, but I wouldn't say it adds much depth. It's just a lot of it's implemented either in an obfuscated way where the player has no actionable course to there's no course correction that can be really done for if it's, a major injury or a minor injury. It's just their stats are reduced by X amount. So you just, how much longer are they wounded for? These are their current stats. Do I drop them like this? Sure. There's no depth. It's still just a yes or no. Do I put this gladiator in this fight? So I'm really hoping that they did address that a little bit with the remake. Just, I would love this game, but more depth, more to it, more, I would, that's tough actually. Would I prefer for it to no longer be a casual sip on beer and don't really care what's going on, but just click the things and do the things? Or would I rather it have a deep and compelling system that really makes me think and actually exudes a lot of excitement and interest and complexity of builds? Because builds flat out just get dexterity high enough so they start hitting, and then either build them defensive or build them offensive, or basically depending on which perks you put. I'll talk about all that next time. I've already been talking for 55 minutes, completely telling you how everything in this game works. And that sadly is actually basically what I did. I don't think I missed anything. That's other than the literal nuance of, what do these particular abilities do? Other than that, you can now go play the game with almost perfect information. Also morale. If it gets too low, they try to run away, but you can actually increase security to make them not able to run away anymore. And, yeah. Other than that, just keep the morale up. And so, yep. That's Age of Gladiators. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time. Have a good one.